Welcome to another episode of Global from Asia podcast. Today we're going to have episode 378, right, Mike? And we don't have special guest, but I think we can carry on with this one.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun summer updates, summer 22 updates, kind of revealing some not really before talked about projects. So let's go in today.
Welcome to the Global from Asia podcast, where the daunting process of running an international business is broken down into straight up actionable advice. And now, your host, Michael Michelini.
So how's it going, Aubrey? Episode 378, right?
Yeah, 378. We're going to 400, almost there, but a lot to talk about today.
Yeah, lots to talk about. It's right in the middle of the 2022. And like you said at the intro, there's no guests today, but we have some pretty exciting stuff. I'm going to share my screen. Usually I don't do that, but don't worry. A lot of people I know are in audio. If you're listening, I'll speak as if you don't see it. So yeah, it's summer 2022, middle of July. I think you're getting settled in from your move, Aubrey. I remember you were moving around a little bit.
Yeah, I've changed my location right now from province to quite province. Semi. It's kind of city and the province.
Oh, it's both. Interesting.
Yeah.
So so today, like you said, there's no guest, but we're going to share screen. We're going to share about some kind of updates. Some people might know some of these projects, some people might not. Kind of opening the kimono a little bit. So you ready for this, Aubrey?
Yeah, of course. Very ready.
And thank you to our sponsor, our returning sponsor, Mercury.com, online bank. Well, it's a real bank, but you can do it totally online for US. Our Blimp program participants are going through this as well. Thank you, Mercury. Travis is great there. He's been on our shows, been in our events. We're going to have another event where we will have them attending as well. And if you want to get a little bonus for you and us, if you sign up and do some special circumstances, you can go to globalfromasia.com/Mercury. I also have a video tutorial that we use even for the Blimp people. I use the same exact video to learn how to use it. I hope you can check it out. Totally free. Why not? See you there. So I'm sharing my screen. I know there's a decent amount of audio people here. So we have a lot to talk about. And I'm going to share this visual, but again, don't worry too much. Aubrey, have you ever seen this one? Did I ever show you this?
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
Okay. I try to be visual. And I was just reading a book, Network State. I highly recommend it. Just came out a couple days ago. It's kind of motivated me. But they call it The Importance of Dashboards. So this is a little bit like a dashboard. It doesn't have data, although we do have some other reports and dashboards. But this one I look at every single morning. And I try my best to update it to help me see what kind of things we're working on and what's happening. And so we're going to use this kind of in the outline today. I think we'll start with the e-commerce stuff because, of course, this is global from Asia and we're talking about Amazon e-commerce. So like in the middle here, we talk about Excalibur Brothers, right, Aubrey? And you've been helping a lot with this one. And do you want to share a little update what's happened? Finally, I'm kind of got it on my shirt now.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on our brand right now. So maybe let's start with the global from Asia.
Yep.
So basically, we're going to have an upcoming member call again with our GFA VIP members, and wherein they can see the picture of what we're currently doing as well, and some strategies on how we do those things. And also, we have the ongoing project with the GFA kids, and I believe it's kind of flourishing right now,
Yeah.
right? Especially that we have a new team member for that.
True. I think let's get to that one. Let's dive a little bit more into Excalibur Brothers. Again, I'm testing this screen sharing, but just so that check the video, you can see it's loading really slow. But we're making a whole new website for Excalibur Brothers. Again, this is a 2003 website that was a dropship site that we bought from somebody I knew, and converted to an Amazon brand and put it into the Blimp program with licensing model. And while that loads, we can just Excalibur Brothers. We have the wine glass cloth. and it just went live on Amazon. We just got our first sale for that listing this week in the beginning of July 2022. So the amazing thing here is, maybe it was bad to share my screen. I got the horrible internet in China. Internet in China is the worst in the world. So maybe it was a bad idea for me to share my screen, but we're doing audio, we're explaining as we talk. But the idea is we're launching these products. There's a flask. Yeah, my internet's just not working right now. So we're launching the polishing cloths live, and we're launching flask and the leather glass case, and there's a shot glass set on the works. So a lot of amazing things that are happening in that. And, it's really my favorite part is because it's a community effort. We have each product is a different seller from the Blimp method. And we get, like you said, you're helping organize a call this next week when the show goes online. And it's a whole new business model. And we're going to be opening up the program to the next cohort. Okay, I don't think we're fully ready to explain that today's show. That's why maybe we're doing this kind of filler update show for people curious what we're working on. But we will be opening it up in the end of July for the next batch. And we already have people on the waiting list, already people interested to join. So it's going to be really cool. So of course, our main focus in Global from Asia has been the Excalibur Brothers brand, and also the Blimp program, which is the licensing program. We also have a couple other brands. I'm not going to share them on the audio, so if you're watching, you can see them, but they're right here, Aubrey. I don't really want to share all of our brands so publicly. I am still at heart an Amazon seller, and I don't really want to promote all of our brands so publicly. But here's finally the loading of the polishing cloth. This is a website which has already been ranking in Google because it's an old website, and we got up. The whole site's going to be up to date. I don't know if you've seen the new site, Aubrey, but it's going to be really amazing. This is Camino's mock-up. Again, nothing is loading, of course, just because I thought I would share my screen today. But it's been 6 months since we launched the brand licensing improved program, or Blimp method. And, we got this first batch of products with these sellers in this program. It's been a lot harder, as always, and more expensive and slower than we expected. But we all held on. We all kept working, right? And we made it. We made it happen. And we got these first ones live. The next one's coming out in a few weeks. And, it's going to start rolling. So that's kind of the update on the e-commerce. I think for people listening or watching, the opportunity is joining the second cohort of the Blimp method, which next episode we should have the updates with the others in the community that are doing it with their feedback, and that will be an exciting opportunity for people that want to join and get selling on Amazon and e-commerce and work with the community, and that's the big update for the Global from Asia. And I think what you were mentioning with the GFA Kids, so that's kind of the e-commerce section. On top of the e-commerce brands, we're also building out a pretty big network of our e-commerce support, I call it, and our SEO department. We actually a couple new people. We're building out more and more traffic sites to grow our network. Even one of my first websites was the Bar Products website. So, we've been using some of these sites I've had even since 2004, New York Bar Store and others. We will be using those as ways to promote our e-commerce brands. So you can see over in this section, the Blimp method, LoadPipe, which is a tool, and the Shadowstone sourcing. So you see how I try to organize this, Aubrey? Is this helpful for you to see?
Yeah, it's helpful. Just to add, for the benefit of our new listeners, so maybe we can also talk about what is Blimp method, or they can just check it out on our website, which is blimpmethod.com, and make sure to subscribe on our email list so that they can be updated every time we have new announcements, new opening, and such.
True. Yeah, just to reiterate, Blimp, like BLIMP, blimpmethod.com. It is a separate email segment, right, Albert? You actually you do great with our email newsletter. So that's a separate list. So if people want to be on the waiting list to join the next cohort and make sure you're invited to the next webinar and invited to the next program, we're doing this in batches for now. So you have to, and we're limiting how many people because it's actually so much work for these first few. So we're going to have a limited amount of people that can join. Also, of course, there's only one per product, one seller per product. So, we have some amazing stuff lined up. But yeah, definitely blimpmethod.com is the main place to go to get involved in the next updates. Okay, and then I think we can move to the Global from Asia bucket. So this is the community bucket you see here for the people watching on the screen, which is, of course, this podcast is Global from Asia. And we have a lot of different stuff under here. A lot's not been active because of COVID and China lockdowns, which is the Cross-Border Summit, Cross-Border Matchmaker. So that's kind of been on the shelf. I cannot wait until we bring those back. I mean, people are really excited about it. Aubrey, we're excited to have your help when we get those going. They're always everybody's favorite thing usually every year at least. So, but yeah, in place of that, we've been focusing a lot, like you mentioned, on GFA Kids. We had a show a couple months ago with some of the team that's helping do these online learnings. And I know you're not as involved, I'm not as involved, but that's been really exciting. And my kids are not going to go back to normal school in the fall. Did I tell you that, Aubrey?
You haven't shared about that.
Yeah, so today's show, people can stop listening or they can skip. But if you're curious a little bit about what, I know some of you actually asked me, like, because in the intro, I give some tidbits and people ask me. So today's a little bit deeper. I'm honestly I don't really like the traditional schools. I don't know if you like your school, Aubrey, when you went through it, but I don't know. I haven't been fully happy. So actually, John in our network, he's an American in Gen, and he's got a Filipino wife and a few children, and he homeschools his kids. So we've had so many lunches. Usually we have like taco lunch, like Mexican lunch. We love tacos. And we talk about homeschooling. He's been doing it since forever with his kids. And the idea is we want to work together to do some more, to scale that, to grow that. So kind of combining this GFA Kids online program that we've been doing. Wendy, my wife, has been helping a lot. Like you mentioned, Janine is new, Leslie's great, Lori's supporting. So we've really been picking up steam. And I think there's over 60 students now in GFA Kids. So the idea is we want to scale that to maybe an offline, in-person, homeschool / in-person type school community. And I guess I've been waiting to say when to say it in this show, but the idea is we are most likely, I don't really want to announce it, but we're trying to move back to Thailand. I was considering even Philippines. I don't know if you knew or not, but it just seems like the immigration process and everything is more, at least in our circumstances, is more supportive for Thailand. And also a few of our businesses are there, like the e-commerce projects and things. So the idea is we're going to take GFA Kids, take John's homeschooling experience, and move to Thailand in the end of the summer. Hopefully, again, the immigration is still processing, so I don't want to jinx myself. The idea is, Aubrey, we're going to try to make this kind of dream of a GFA village, the GFA school, the community, cross-border events, cross-border summits, cross-border matchmakers, online, offline together. I think maybe I'll just keep sharing screen on and off. Again, I know actually a lot of people just listen to this on iTunes. So, but if you go to village.globalfromasia.com, you can see, actually I even have a summer letter, and hopefully my internet's working now. But the idea is take all of these 10 years, Global From Asia is almost 10 years now, and make it like a city. I'm actually reading this book, Aubrey. It just came out like a few days ago called Network State. And it's about building your own nation. It sounds crazy, but with cryptocurrency and online, you can have your own in-person and online and offline community. Like even with our Chess-On team, it's a lot of, we feel like, we get to know each other. We haven't met in person, but we will work online. The same with the community. But the idea is to have a little bit of in-person. So we're going to start to kind of build this little city. Again, this is the dream here, or this is stage 2. Actually, I have a PowerPoint here. You can download the GFA Village. I didn't prepare to share too much today about it. Today's kind of just giving you some updates. But the idea is if I pass the immigration to go to Thailand with the family, with under the terms that we're working on, of course I could go as a tourist, but I want to have a longer term arrangement that I'm working on. If that all goes through, it should be a couple of months. So looking like maybe September, we'll move there and we'll take this GFA Kids program, which we have is gfakids.com. Whoa, something's the GFA Kids and the GFA Village and GFA VIP membership. And then the Blimp method is the program, where Excalibur Brothers is the brand. And it's an economy. You understand? It's like a whole economy. So people can join the Blimp method, right? And then they can sell on Amazon and sell online and get their Amazon account going. And we help them make money and earn a living for themselves. We can help them with the education for their kids if they have children. We, of course, living in a community near each other, and events will be there with still the online and the offline together. And again, this is a longer form dream, but if we pass this immigration with myself, my wife, my children to get there, the idea is we can start to have like a phase one. Maybe it'll just be one unit. Maybe it'll just be like one physical place, small place. But then in phase two, it could be a bigger one. But it'll be like kind of like a real estate project. So I'll stop rambling too much, Aubrey, but that's kind of something I've been wanting to share for a while. And I thought maybe I could start to share it today.
Yeah, I really love about that end goal, because the thing is our actions will be towards that end goal starting from now, right? So I hope our community is happy to hear about these updates.
Yeah, I mean,
And
go ahead.
yeah, and of course they can also take part on those things. So if they want to join us or something, you know.
Yeah, so that's the point is, of course, we have our GFA VIP membership. And I think, you know me, I'm not a hype person, but anybody in our membership, we have the call next week, like you mentioned, or this week, this show goes online. But of course, we prioritize our members. We prioritize, people in the Blimp method. We have to, of course, they've invested with us in our programs and our business models. So they'll have always first right. But of course, people on our free podcast and our free newsletter will get updates and opportunities as well. But of course, the priority is always to our GFA VIP members and the Blimp method actually is also members, but they're the Blimp method franchisees as well. So that's kind of the updates on this one. I'm going to just keep sharing screen on and off. And finally, the listing loaded for the Excalibur Brothers. There's the listing. It's got the video, the full listing, the brand, everything. So it's really, we'll link this up on the show notes too. My internet is horrible. That's another reason I gotta get out of here. They just don't like the internet here. But yeah, it's not fully loading still. It's really unbelievable. Close tab. Let's go back to I call it the Empire. Did this load? Okay, here's the new website. That's not fully loaded. There it is. That's the new website. I don't know if you've seen that, Aubrey, have you?
Yeah, I've seen that already, and it's really beautiful, and it's not the usual one compared to the old site.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge upgrade. It's a huge amount of work too, but we are working hard on, hopefully by the time podcast comes online, Fanny, Manly, people don't know, we have such a great team, people listening to the show, we have a great team. Let's go back to the dashboard. So we started in the middle. Just to kind of recap, we went through Excalibur Brothers and the Blimp method and some other brands and services for e-commerce. And then we just talked about GFA community, which of course is this podcast, and also the events which are on hold, and GFA Kids, which is new and growing. Also now Shenzhen, I kind of put in that bucket. It's a separate company and a separate business, but I still kind of consider it like a community and a media company. So that's why I lump it into that section. And then of course the long-term dream is the village, the physical and online community fusion. So that's the second big section. And then on the bottom here, I have Sky Include, basically Handshake or crypto or Web3. A lot of people I talk to, we've also had shows about Handshake last year on the show. We had like a whole series about it. people like our Flamingo Handshake auctions, which are fun. And we had to have the router, which has been a little bit of a challenge. And there's like DWeb ASAP, which is like an NFT shop from somebody in the community, and MonaPay. So we've been doing a lot of crypto Web3. And I know you've been interested in it, Aubrey. I know you're not as involved, but I know you've helped with some of their events and things. So I still feel like it's a separate world than Global from Asia. I'm trying to figure out a way to bridge the crypto and the Web3 with Global from Asia. And I'm not sure still exactly. I feel like there's still too early because we've tried to talk to the community at GFA and Amazon sellers, but it just seems too early. So I don't know what you think of all of that.
Yeah, maybe they are also not yet prepared for that. But moving forward, I think it's a great opportunity to finally integrate those two because it's the future, right?
Yeah, I think once there's a more clear way to make money. There's been some people that attended our HandyCon conference, which is our handshake conference, and other events, and they say like it's still too early for us to make money. Like obviously for Amazon or e-commerce, you can make a living selling on Amazon or selling on your website physical products, but there's not as clear of an easy way in crypto. Of course, besides buying and selling the coins, trading, or the domains, flipping domains. But besides that, it's still a little bit early to make a living off of it. So I think once there's actual economies there, it'll be a little bit easier for us to integrate with the traditional business models. Okay, and then the last, I guess there's two more buckets, Aubrey. I don't know. Again, this is an experiment. I just figured we could have gotten a guest show. I talked to amazing guests that want to come on the show, but I figured why not just let this be a personal update. So that's the third bucket. The fourth bucket is our investments. I call it Venture Seed. Actually, we have a domain, theventureseed.com, and so this one doesn't fit exactly very clearly, but we have invested in other businesses in various forms. And the one I want to know, Aubrey, is actually this is Global from Asia started as a company registration and CPA company to help people open companies in Hong Kong. I'm not sure if you're even aware of that. Are you? I'm curious.
I haven't heard about that.
All right. So I don't know if the listeners are still here from those days, but when we started the podcast, we were talking, they're still online, but about opening a company in Hong Kong, opening a bank account in Hong Kong, doing different business practices from Hong Kong. Actually, if you listen to the old shows, the intro says, "Welcome to the Global from Asia podcast. We're running an international business from Hong Kong is broken down into straight up actionable advice." Actually, we cut out the from Hong Kong a few years ago. People noticed. I don't want to get political. We even had some episodes talking about it, but it's not been as easy to do business from Hong Kong. I'll just say that. But we still have a vested interest in a CPA firm, a Unipro. We're a minority shareholder. So what happened was we transitioned our clients and our CPA business into Unipro. And Ray Ning, he's been on the show a few times in the past, is our partner there. So we still operate that, and clients still come there. Still, some of the listeners or friends are still clients there. We're a client, of course, for our Hong Kong company. So that's kind of one of our larger investments. But we also have some blogs and some websites. I don't really feel like sharing them all specifically, but we call that blog Venture Seed division or our like investment division. So is that any comments on that, Aubrey?
Directly involved with that yet, but I've seen those works from our other team members, such as on the Fishing Lab, Venture Seed,
Yeah.
etc. But yeah, it's really a great addition to our whole venture. And after seeing this one, I think we're really doing a lot now.
Yeah, I mean, people listening. Again, I'm like kind of almost nervous to just share everything, but basically it is a lot, and I think you know me. You got to know me, Aubrey. First of all, I hope you know you're amazing. You do amazing. You're a very fast learner. You can kind of help with all these different crazy things we do. But yeah, we do a lot. But it's also maybe I don't want to call it COVID, but you have to be nimble. You have to be able in corona, especially during the coronavirus or in business or in life, But it's been a very, very crazy few years. Even before coronavirus, there's the trade wars and the Hong Kong uprising was really rough. That's why we had to, that's why we almost had to pivot out of the Hong Kong company set up, because it was really hard for us to support ourselves. So that's one excuse at least. But of course, focus is our weakness. We're not we do so many things, but we try to connect it. But I think the biggest asset is our team. So I think that will go into our last main section today. I'll share screen again, but of course, is Shadstone. So Shadstone is the fifth bucket. We start with e-commerce, global from Asia or media. Then we went into the Sky Include and Web3, and then we went to venture seed and the investment. The last one, but probably the most important, is Shadstone. So I don't know if people even know what Shadstone is. I think Aubrey, of course, knows. Our team knows Shadstone, but actually the point of Shadstone, not sure if you know a story, Aubrey. Do you know where the name Shadstone comes from?
I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. But I think you've mentioned it before.
Okay, well, I'll try to say it. Well, there's two stories. One story is I was called Shadow on Wall Street. I worked on Wall Street for almost 5 years, and I was quiet and fast. And they would, that doesn't really fit Wall Street. I would get things done without making a fuss, and I would be faster than they thought they would think I didn't do something like enter a trade or settle a trade dispute. I was kind of like trade support. I was actually kind of the low bitch person in the company on I was the person that had to do any kind of crap. Of course, I was very highly compensated, and I had to go through college and everything. But as far as they were concerned, I was like the new person, the rookie. So I had to get coffee for people. I had to get certain donuts and bagels and eggs for breakfast, fast, and of course the important stuff too, like entering trades, $1 million trades on order desk system, and settle trades with people all around the world. But yeah, I was fast and I was quiet. So they would sometimes say, Shadow, did you get your trade into the system, that $4 million trade with, company? And I was like, I did that like 20 minutes ago, man. They're like, bleep, 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 and Shadow, you bleep, bleeper. Like, anyway, I didn't like being called Shadow, to be honest, Aubrey. I would be in a bar, in New York City with the traders, and I was the one that had courage to talk to the girls. They would just be drinking beer and talking amongst the men, and I would be the crazy one that would be brave enough to go and approach girls at the bar to talk to them, and they would pick on me. I was specifically remember one time I went to the bar to talk to a group of girls, also to help maybe introduce those girls to these, to help be the connector. So I go over and I'm talking to them, and they were talking back. And then the guys on the table, the traders with me at Wall Street, were like, Shadow, go get those girls. Good on, yeah, this guy's doing good. Get him. Yeah. All right, Shadow. Oh, boy. And then I'm sitting there and I'm like ignoring them. I'm not, and the girls are like, are they calling you Shadow? Do you know those guys over there? And I'm just like, nah, I don't know. They're talking to somebody else, but there's nobody else. It's like, there's nobody else, but I'm saying they're not talking to me. And they're like, hey, Shadow, why you not looking over here? Eh? Forgot your friends already? Found these girls and you don't want to talk to us now? You forgot us, huh? And so, this is what it's called like busting balls. That's what Wall Street, they liked, at least then. I heard it's changed a lot because of the financial collapse and stuff. This is in 2006, 2007, 2000, something like that. So, I didn't like it. And then one guy, Jason, just looks at me one day, and I was like, man, I hate being called Shadow. This just sucks. Every day they just call me Shadow. And then he says, he doesn't say anything. He just looks at me and he says, Shadstone. I'm like, what's that? He's like, maybe we try to call you Shadstone. And then I say, well, that's all right. And then he says, and then I go to guy Dennis. I'm like, Dennis, I don't want to be called Shadow anymore. I want to be called Shadstone. He's like, beep, you man, beep, you man, you're a Shadow. You're not getting out of this. You're a Shadow, man. You are still gonna be Shadow. So it didn't really work. So I still got called Shadow. I can't say they call me Shadstone, but you know, by 2007, I was preparing to leave. I was selling on eBay since 2004 while I was working on Wall Street at part-time at nights and stuff. You want to talk about overworked, Aubrey? I worked 12 to 13 hours a day on Wall Street, and then I would go home at 8, 9 p.m. and do eBay orders and do customer support and buy from Chinese factories on Alibaba until like 10, 11 o'clock at night. And then I would wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's 5:30 in the morning to get back to work by 6:30 a.m. to get eggs and coffee for the traders and to do morning meeting at 7 a.m. to get screamed at all day. And I saved all of my money. I saved all of my money. I tried so hard to spend no money. Like I bought peanut butter sandwiches for lunch every day. I didn't want to spend money on lunch. I would eat, and they would make fun of me every day because I wouldn't go and get expensive lunch downstairs with them. I would just eat peanut butter sandwiches because I was saving everything I could possibly save to get out of there, to get out of that horrible environment. And you know, I was very unhealthy. If you see pictures of me, I was overweight. I drank coffee all morning. I would drink soda in the afternoon, and I would drink beer after work with them on Wall Street. And then I would go back and work until night. So it was like I was burnt out and exhausted for years. So anyways, so that's actually it was a little bit longer of a rant, but that's the story of how. So I registered Shadstone.com on Wall Street in March 2007. And the idea of Shadstone was, of course, not to share that story, but to be a shadow of your business and the stone that you can rely on. So it's kind of meant to be the behind the scenes company, like what it is, right? I mean, it's been operating since 2007, registered in 2007. It's meant to be a B2B, I guess you could say BPO or outsourcing, but it's meant to just be the engine, the operations of the brands, of the businesses that we do. So that was why I was registered. And that was, I help people starting sourcing from China. So we still have the sourcing site on, but you know, we also did SEO and web services. So the idea is when we came to China, I was opening an office in 2007. I was helping people, our own businesses, as well as other businesses, to create websites and marketing, as well as to source from China and factories. So we were like this since then. So that's kind of the last bucket 5. Maybe I'll share screen again for those watching. But of course, there's a lot more stuff under this Shadstone, but mostly it's tools. You know, I think Aubrey knows we have so many tools. We have our Clear Cafe. We've invested heavily in tools because I don't want to say I guess maybe I'm somewhat cheap, but I don't want to pay per month per user for like 30 freaking software as a services, right? So we have our own help desk system. We have our own SEO reporting system. We have our own HR system. We have our own forms system. We have our own email system. We have our own, you know, Dropbox type system. We have our, you know, like our own booking system, right? I don't, you're on mute, maybe. I don't hear you, Aubrey.
Yeah, we have lots of tools and it's really helpful, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's the 5 buckets. And yeah, so Shadstone basically, we've made so many tools, and we have like shout out to Manly and how in the past, and we have, you know, really been blessed with great people, and now we have great systems. And so I think this has been longer than I was even expecting, but yeah, those are the 5 main buckets. Again, the e-commerce stuff, which we normally talk about here. We did Sistano here from start to finish to sale. We launched Excalibur Brothers on Amazon, right, with the Blimp Method program. Global Media is our media and our community. Sky Include is our Web3. And then we have our investment division through Venture Seed. And then we have Shadstone, which is our, like, also we do services. So we still do services for people. Mostly it's website website marketing and online marketing. We don't really do sourcing anymore. It's just too painful. People want it, but it's very painful. Maybe we can do it. We have some good people to help us with sourcing, but currently not really open for maybe just Blimp method sourcing, right? But okay. So Aubrey, what are your thoughts so far? How do you feel?
I think that I just learned about the backstory of how Shadstone was built. And I think it's kind of interesting story, especially if it's really good for branding the shadow plus a stone.
Okay.
And also, I hope the community is happy to hear about these things as well.
Yeah. You reminded me another part. We're adding ninjas to the Shadstone story. I think you've gotten some ninja NFTs from Anne. I think. I don't know if you've gotten
Yeah,
those. Was thinking about the Shadow Stone or the Shadstone, but we're trying to make a visual thing for our team, which is how many now? Like 20 people or so. It's crazy. Too much HR work, honestly. But we're trying to call people ninjas. And the idea is, you're definitely qualified, in my opinion, a ninja, Aubrey. Like you said, we do all these projects, and we want to basically have people that are independent. Part of our values is our independence and self-learning, because we all want to work online and we want to be flexible. So I was thinking about what to call it, and it's like protectors of the Shadstone, of the Shadow Stone. So the idea is there's this engine, right? Like the heart of the business is Shadstone, right? And then that's like this glowing, like source of energy for the team and for the community. And then there's the ninjas, Shadstone ninjas, which are people protecting and expanding the stone and the energy. Because, and we need to find ways to compensate those people and grow those people. And so that's the Shadstone ninjas is what we're building out just for the last couple of months. But yeah, Aubrey, you're a ninja for sure. And I hope you enjoy here. And I really want to give our team more opportunities. Like, Christian's so amazing, right? I mean, I hope I'm not picking favorites. I mean, so many people on our team is amazing. And that's one thing I really want to, that's what we try to do at Global from Asia, honestly. So give people opportunities wherever they are, like if I really hope we can give more people opportunity based on just their ability and their desire to improve themselves, right? If you want to learn, what bothers me the most is when people have skill or opportunity and don't develop it and don't try. They just settle for what maybe is given to them. So I really hope we can continue to create environments to help people to grow and expand.
Yeah, and I'm excited for that innovation, continuous innovation for this company.
Great. All right, I guess that's it. We don't need the conclusion. This was kind of like the meat, but I think it's going to be on globalfromasia.com/summer 2022 2022. And we'll link up. I don't know, there's too much to link because there's so many projects, but maybe you and Aubrey, you can talk to Cheryl and others on our team about what's to highlight. Probably the best is the Blimp method, maybe the Village at Global from Asia. Of course, the membership, if you want to join the membership, get on the inside with our calls, but don't want to maybe join Blimp. Those are kind of some of the main ones. But yeah, I mean, I just have a feeling like, and we want to invite the community. If something you heard today is interesting to you, we have so many amazing opportunities for people to join as a team member, as partners. We don't want to get myself in too much trouble and do more brand new projects, but if it fits within what we're doing now and somebody's qualified and capable, we'd love to create opportunities to cooperate with them.
Okay, yeah, I think it's exciting, and I think that's it. We can already conclude this one.
All right.
And thank you everyone for listening to us today. Hope you enjoy.
Thank you. And then there's the Welcome to Your Kingdom flag. Again, I keep referencing stuff on video, but that's an Excalibur Brothers flag. We're going to keep pushing. That one's going to finally. You've seen it, Aubrey. I mean, I think you're learning a lot and helping a lot too. But if it's easy to get, it's not valuable. If it's hard, it's usually more valuable. So let's keep on pushing.
To get more info about running an international business, please visit our website at www.globalfromasia.com. That's www.globalfromasia.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our iTunes feed. Thanks for tuning in.